Hey, Khary, I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking the time to do this today. And it's so fun to learn about business owners and how they develop their business. And I'm happy to learn from you today. So thank you.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well, hey, let's get right to it. So, first question, what do you attribute your growth to?
Yeah, well, through the years, there's a lot of things that's kind of gotten us to where we are today, and I'll just name a couple that I think have really like helped us move down the path to get us to where we are. I would say the first thing is just really always trying to add value to who we're working with,
Mhm.
um, and always trying to think of new ways that we could do that. I can even say like during COVID, a lot of things the way we were operating, and what we could do kind of changed a lot. And
Yeah,
instead of saying, "Oh, well, we'll let this pandemic beat us," we thought of ways how we can add value even during those times to companies. And they still needed to send messages, or they still need to get their message out there, and they still needed our services, but in a different way. So really, just always thinking about how we can add value. And
that's
then
awesome. How did you adapt to that? What did you do? What did you put in place, or you had to be nimble and you had to be pretty creative pretty quickly, right?
yeah, and I mean, I guess a specific use case during that time is a lot of people couldn't go out and film, like they typically could on site. So we had a lot of existing footage from, people we've worked with in the past, and we're like, okay, using this existing footage, maybe they could send us over a voiceover, and we
Mhm.
can, put together stuff that with the footage that we already have and still they'll be able to get their message across and still let people know that they're still relevant and they're still around. That's just one case. Another case is like, hey, just using the webcams. No, we can't bring the fancy cameras out there, but we could still have the ability to write a script, have people record their message, edit it together, and put it out there. And just yeah, just thinking of different ways like that.
That's great. I love it. All right. So tell me what makes your business unique and why do customers and clients choose you over other potential competitors?
Yeah, so I think some of the unique things that we offer is leading technology and equipment and processes that other people in our industry don't either have access to or don't implement. But really, besides that, it's the relationship building.
Hmm.
We focus a lot on building a relationship. We don't, whenever we're going to work with companies, we don't think of it as we're going to work with companies. There's people within these companies that who we're actually working with, who we're actually talking to. So really trying to help them out and understand their needs to do their job better instead of oh, we just got this big deal with this big company.
Hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I like that. Um, yeah, if you fill other people's needs, it usually works out best for everybody, doesn't it?
yep, exactly. And just having a good understanding what those needs are.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so if you had to start over in your business from square one, what would you have done differently?
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that we've gotten wrong, of course, but I think the biggest thing is understanding. It's a mindset thing, and really understanding the value of retaining talent and top talent.
Oh,
Um, and we're in the creative space, and we're in the creative industry, so really the best creative talent that you have really makes a big difference. So if we're able to keep that talent, on board, bought in, and really again serve their needs because they have the people who work for you have needs as well. I think if had a better mindset around that, then we would be a lot farther along.
yeah. So talent is your first number one priority is getting the best and brightest and keeping them.
Yeah, and of course, starting off, it's the kind of the founders that are really doing a lot of that work. And yeah, we're executing, we're implementing processes, and then we start bringing on people. But those people are people, and
Yeah.
understanding that and making sure that they're happy, especially when you have someone that's very talented. I think that's we would having a better understanding of that at the beginning would take us a long way.
Yeah, I love that, man. If you find the right people, you can figure out the slots to plug them into, but finding the right people and then keeping them and motivating them, that's gold. That's great.
Mhm.
So that's sort of my next question was, what have your biggest learnings been as an employer? Are there any other learnings you would add to that?
Other than really, well, first off, and I guess I can elaborate,
Yeah,
sometimes you just don't appreciate what you have until it's gone. So it isn't like we didn't value them as a person,
yeah, yeah.
but it's more so we didn't really understand the value of having that person, and the impact that having a great talent has in your company. And then really a lot of times they love structure. People love structure. People like structure and predictability and like to be involved in the conversation. They don't like to feel like they're left out, or there's uncertainty.
Yep,
So really communicating and being transparent is something huge. As a new business owner, you think that there's certain information that only you should know, and there is to an extent.
sure.
But there's also a lot of information that you should be sharing, because the more that they know, the more that they can help you out and get to the common goal that you all have.
Yeah, I think you would agree with me that if people if people don't have a narrative, they write their own narrative, and it's
Ab-
usually not right.
Absolutely. And it's usually a lot more grim than what the narrative actually is.
Yes, definitely. They write a darker story than what actually the story really is. Correct.
Yep, absolutely.
So this sort of I'm going to keep down this line of questioning. So when you're looking for an employee, what qualities do you look for to really positive? Sorry, foster the right positive sort of work environment or whatever other qualities you're looking for. Like, what do you look for in a hire?
Yeah, so what I like to do is like lay out our goals, our values, our mindset around, I mean, just projects, life, and what we do. And a
Mhm.
lot of times when those values and that mindset lines up, even if they aren't up to the skill level that we need them at, if they're willing to learn and grow, because that is our value. We're big on learning, we're big on growing and learning new ways to shift our mindset. And
Mhm.
if they align with that as well, then yeah, that's really what I look for. And we want to be the best. We want to be the best at what we do. So I don't want someone around that doesn't want to be the best. And
Mm.
if I'm able to communicate that while I'm bringing them on, and they're able to, say like, hey, yes, I want to be part of this team because I want to be the best too, then everything else usually falls in place.
I got you. So it's competitive and it's a real quest for learning or you know intellectual growth or talent growth or whatever that is, skill growth. Would that be correct?
Exactly. And that's for within our company. But I guess objectively, the point I'm trying to make is you got to lay out what your values are and what you think is
Mm.
important in your
Yes,
business. And if someone says like, yes, that is what's important for me, then it's usually a great fit.
that's awesome. Okay, so how do you, as a business owner, this comes up a lot. How do you balance life and work, kids and family, and getting everything accomplished?
I was going to ask you that because I still haven't figured that out. So, but I can definitely tell you. First off, I have not figured that out. So that is a great question, and that's a good conversation to have amongst other business owners and how they've done it. But I do know that whether it's personal or in business life, there's things that need to be done.
Yes.
So you do what needs to be done, no matter what. If you have to stay up later, you have to stay up. I have two kids, and these kids they have activities, extracurricular activities they need to go to. They have
Yeah.
homework that needs to be checked. You have to be a parent as well, and there's things that need to be done within that space, and there's no excuses. You can't make excuses for that. But there's also things in running a business that need to be done, and you can't make excuses for that. So really being able to have organize your life and your schedule,
Mhm.
to know and have forethought and about what's coming up, so you can juggle your personal and the business, running a business. So I wouldn't say I have balance, but you definitely have to be intentional. You have to be organized, and you definitely have to have foresight to make it all work.
I think that's brilliant. I like that. Prioritize the important things, right? And I'll
Definitely.
tell you, this is a common thing with business owners, honestly, and it's understandable. You know, I was literally just on the phone with somebody and like, how do I do all this? I'm like, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Well, you're not alone.
Yep.
So first of all, let's know that this is a
Yep.
it's hard, and you got to prioritize the right things. So I like you're saying prioritize, intentional, and but then you just got to get it done too, right?
Yeah. You find yourself scrolling on Instagram list, or, having, unfulfilling and meaningless conversations that you might have done in the past,
Yep,
because you are intentional, you have a mission, you have a goal, and you kind of know what will bring that fulfillment to you if you get it done.
I love that. All right. So, last question. What are some common misconceptions about running a business and how do you address them?
Yeah, so I think a lot of people, especially business owners that are starting off, think they're just going to knock it out the park. And a year from now, I'll be driving the Lamborghini in my, 15,000 square foot mansion, and
Hmm?
I have all these employees, and I'll exit with the $50 million exit, and living in the shade. And it's not like that. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes saying no to a lot of things that you see your peers doing.
Hmm.
Uh, and it really ultimately takes a lot of learning and growing to be a better leader, because you have to always be like, okay, how can I get better? How can I get better? How can I get better? Because there's people depending on you to get better. And
Yes.
I think
Yes.
you can be the best at doing something, but if you really want to operate a successful business, it's more about being the best leader you can be and making the certain sacrifices to get there.
The business is only going to be as good as you are, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Or you'll
But
find yourself working for someone else.
yeah, that's right. That's right. That's exact. That was great. Thank you. I love your last answer. That is awesome. Thank you for that. That's real wisdom there. So, Kari, I appreciate this.